Well, I am absolutely delighted to be here today at the National Self-Build and Renovation Centre, somewhere I've wanted to come for a long time, and I was introduced to it by the lovely Kate Faulkner. And Kate, great to have your input here, because of course you were involved with the whole setup of this amazing resource for landlords and property developers.
Yep, so I remember coming through a tiny little door, and this was a concrete shell basically, and 67,000 square foot of it. And Raymond, who set the whole centre up, turned around and said, well, this is what I've got. This is what it's supposed to look like. Can you help? And I was just like, wow, yeah, just tell me where to sign.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how brilliant it is here. I mean, just that exhibit in the background there is all about timber frame houses. You can go in and see different timbers, different styles of building them. It's very interactive here, isn't it? You can go in and learn so much about virtually every aspect of building.
Well, one of the problems for people that want to self-build is that actually half the stuff you've got to do, you can't see it. So, for example, one of the things we looked at doing, you've got all of the different plant machinery. Now, the most important thing about that is that they're huge, these things, and they might not actually be able to fill up your driveway. So if you don't know what they look like to start off with, then you get problems. The lorry turns up and they're going, well, we can't get this in. So you have to see it. And also we've got this great section called groundworks. And when you see groundworks, they're either trenches or they're filled in. So how's that going to help me as a self-builder? And what we've got then is, so we've got the ground starts here, and then you've got all the exhibit underneath, so you can see exactly what goes into groundworks. So the whole thing was to educate people so that they feel more in control and would get more excited about self-build.
No, I can see, but from the landlord perspective, which of course is what we're interested at Property Tribes, honestly, there's so many things here that I think landlords would find really useful, such as solutions for damp and mould, that kind of thing.
Absolutely, and on the days when the stands are actually manned, you can agree to meet people here, and they've got all of the things that you need to see. So when it comes to damp and mould, they can show you the kit, things like that, and you can meet them, and then you can look at anything else. So with a lot of landlords looking at renovating or having to maintain property, then this is really, really helpful. And one of the things that I thought was a genius idea was that, you know, when you go to exhibitions and you kind of go home with all this packs of stuff, you don't do that here. Can I just show you?
Yeah, look, you've got your scan point.
And you scan what you're interested in, and lo and behold, you get home and it arrives at your door.
I know, it's brilliant.
Which is a really, really, I'd love to have claimed that as my idea, but it wasn't. There was a lot of great design went into this, there really was.
I think this is a really great day out for anybody involved in property. It's so well laid out, there's so much to see. I think landlords and property developers and investors, they should actually come and kind of spend the day here. There's a cafe, there's people to talk to, there's educational events. I mean, there's so much going on here.
So basically, if you like property, this is like being a kid in a sweet shop.
Yes.
Because you just go, oh, wow, I didn't know that. And you can press stuff. And then we go to something like this, which is, I have to say, my favourite bit is the renovation house. And what I want to tell you is you're seeing now, this is all being renovated. When that was first built, that was beautiful.
Yep.
That had been beautifully built. And then these designing guys came in and basically trashed the place. And so what you've got is the front that you see here is a dilapidated state. And then what they did was they built it the exact same area, built it 3 times behind, so you can see what first fix, because we always talk about first fix and you go, well, what's that? I don't really understand it. Well, now you can see exactly what it is. What's second fix? What's the final finish? If you've got a basement, you can then see how you can convert that. And if you've got an attic, you can just go up the stairs and you put your hard hat on and it'll explain how to do it. So I think really as landlords and anybody in property investment, there's so much to take in that it's really impossible, and you're always learning. Whereas if you come here first, if you're doing a job, you can see all the new stuff that's available, because there's constant innovation.
Absolutely,
which
I can see that.
It could save a fortune, or it could deliver such a better product to tenants, and surely that's what the job is. So it really is, and it's just like a day in the park, quite frankly, because it is just such a fantastic day out.
It is indeed, and it's lovely that as you mentioned, that people can take a tour of the Checkatrade renovation house and actually see it, as you said, going through the whole process. They have a guide, there's audio tour in there as well. So really, really interactive and such a great learning environment.
Yeah, and there's real experts here as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, some of the guys here I've worked with now for over 10 years, and I can promise you these guys really know their stuff. So whether you're starting out or even if you're a professional, these guys will be able to help you for any questions that you've got. So whether you come down on a day when the centre's just open, or indeed they do run quite big events during the year where other companies and experts will come in and you can have talks and stuff, then you can do that here. And it is, you know, that famous phrase, it is all under one roof.
It is.
And it really is. And it's so exciting.
It is. I can't express how brilliant it is here, and I do recommend everybody to come down and check it out. And in fact, at Property Tribes, we're thinking of putting on a Property Tribes gathering down here because there's meeting facilities as well. And I'd be interested to know if any of our community would be interested in joining us for a day of networking here, and maybe we could get along some of our developers and get them to do some presentations and stuff like that. I think it'd be great. But Kate, the one thing is, more people need to know about this. It's it's so brilliant. It's such a tremendous resource, and it's free to come to.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it's one of those things whereby, unfortunately, it's kind of got caught up a little bit in the credit crunch. So I think we launched it in 2000, or we were certainly working on it 2005-06. Launched it in 2007. Crash happened, that affected everybody, so it's taking a little while to recover. But I do think the future really of something like this and getting people to come is doing exactly what you're suggesting, is putting on events.
Yes.
And also getting the property industry to use it. Because, you know, whether you're a surveyor or an agent or anything like that, if you're in the industry, somebody built your perfect conference centre, quite frankly. Absolutely. So this is truly an ideal place. So it's a shame more people don't know about it, but hopefully we can spread the word.
Yes, well, I think we should. And we're going to put the link to the website below where we are on the video. And I do want people to also visit the website, Kate, because there's a lot of resources there. There's events, there's all sorts of guides. Again,
calculators. So if people don't know how much it'll cost to build and things like that. And the beautiful thing is, so there's a couple of facts for you. Around 25% of detached homes are actually built by self-builders, new homes. And the other thing is, we're all worried a bit more about sort of capital growth for the future. If you get a self-build right, you'll have automatically built in around 30% capital growth the day the property is mortgageable. So it is an unbelievably good idea. And depending on when you're built, where you are building, so I'm from Lincolnshire, we've got loads of plots. So come on up to Lincolnshire and you can build away. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you very much for sharing insights into the National Self-Build and Renovation Centre. It is in Swindon.
It is.
It's very easy to get to. There's lots of parking. There's a cafe, and as Kate said, I think she described it very well. It's like being a kid in a candy store for landlords, because there's so many interesting things, exhibits, interactive things to do here, and great learnings to be had, and also a cafe, so you can stop for a cuppa if you need to have a break. And really, I can't express just how brilliant it is, and also the level of innovation here. You mentioned that earlier, Kate. There's absolutely cutting edge stuff here to help investors and developers create a better product.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we do have to keep abreast of that. I think we are a little bit guilty in the construction industry and in the property world of sticking to what we know. So, you know, I was talking recently about a shortage of bricks. Well, when you see the sort of modular homes that you can build here, how fast they can be built and the kind of materials, you know, that is the sort of stuff that we should be looking at now to try and make sure that, you know, I've seen properties you can build for sort of 60k, which if you get the land, that's not you can get a great return as a landlord from that, certainly better than if you sort of bought a property and then tried to rent it out. And beautifully, of course, very little maintenance.
Absolutely. So there you go. That's a few insights into this National Self-Build and Renovation Centre. It really is a best kept secret. I don't want that to continue.
No,
I want everybody to know about it, and really do book a day to come out and visit here for the day, because you'll get an awful lot out of it. And Kate, thank you so much for telling me about it, but also for your support of projects like this, because they are very important to the entire community and they're such a wonderful resource.
Yeah, and I think actually, we talk about how a lot of the property industry doesn't collaborate very well. I have to say the self-build industry does, and it is thanks to all the companies that supported it, what was a complete unknown project right from the very start. And I am very grateful for them putting their hand in the pocket and trusting us with that. And what an amazing resource that we all work together to create. So good on them for doing it.
Indeed. Well, I can only second every word there. So do come down and check it out one day. It really will be worth your time to come and spend a little bit of time here and see and interact with everything here. It's a great day out.